Losing a job is an incredibly stressful life event. The absolute last thing you need right now is to feel completely overwhelmed by a confusing state bureaucracy. If you're feeling uncertain about how the Nevada unemployment system works, just take a deep breath. You are in the right place, and we're going to walk through this explainer together to bring you total clarity. Are you struggling to navigate the complexity of certifying those weekly benefits? It's completely valid to feel a bit of anxiety about state systems. Seriously, the rules, the portals, the deadlines, it can all feel a little bit like a maze designed to trip you up. But I want you to think of this explainer as your personal step-by-step roadmap. We're going to cut right through the jargon and show you exactly how to secure the financial relief you have rightfully earned, totally stress-free. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is exactly what we'll be covering today. First up, Nevada unemployment basics. Then, the weekly certification steps. After that, avoiding fraud and errors, followed by pro tips for success, resources and getting help, and finally, a wrap-up and disclaimer. Quick and easy. All right, Section 1, Nevada unemployment basics, understanding eligibility and rewards. Before you can actually start certifying your weeks, you really have to understand the foundation. Think of the unemployment system as a threshold you need to cross before the support can begin to flow. Now, $469. That is the maximum weekly benefit available in Nevada under normal circumstances. While your individual amount is going to vary based on your past income, this number represents the ceiling of the financial stability waiting for you on the other side of this process, typically lasting for up to 26 weeks. So, how do you cross that threshold and qualify? First and foremost, you must be unemployed through absolutely no fault of your own, meaning you were laid off rather than fired for misconduct or just quitting without a qualifying reason. Financially, you need to have earned at least $400 in the highest earning quarter of your designated base period. That base period is essentially a specific one-year time frame of your recent work history. Plus, your total income across that period must meet specific state multipliers. And crucially, moving forward, you must be physically able, available, and actively looking for work. Moving on to Section 2, the weekly certification steps, your recurring chronological walkthrough. And this brilliantly illustrates the path forward. Once you know you're eligible, what actually happens week to week? Well, think of this process as your recurring weekly time card for your brand new job, which is hunting for a job. There are 3 core chronological steps you're going to take here. Step 1 happens at nui.nv.gov, where you register as a new claimant in the Claimant Self-Service, or CSS, portal. Step 2 is applying for your initial benefits to actually establish your claim. But Step 3 is where the real ongoing work lives, claiming your weekly benefits. You have got to certify every single week, running from Sunday to Saturday, to prove you're keeping up your end of the bargain. And the reward for completing those steps accurately is, of course, your payout. Once your weekly certification is approved, you actually have a choice. You can either have the funds sent via direct deposit, which honestly is the fastest and preferred method, or you can opt to receive a Bank of America prepaid Visa debit card right in the mail. Let's jump into Section 3, avoiding fraud and errors, navigating potential roadblocks. Now, the unemployment system is incredibly strict, and innocent mistakes can lead to massive headaches, delayed payments, or even worse. So the crucial point is understanding how to report any money you happen to make while on unemployment. If you pick up a temporary shift or a part-time gig, you must report your gross wages. This means you report the total financial compensation you earned during a certified week, before a single penny is taken out for taxes, Social Security, or any other payroll deductions. And listen closely, because right here is where the vast majority of people make a really critical error. Under Nevada state law, you must report your gross wages in the exact week the labor was performed. This is completely regardless of when the physical payment is received. If you work a 4-hour shift on a Tuesday, but the company doesn't actually hand you your paycheck for another 3 weeks, you still must report those earnings on this week's certification. Got it? When the work is performed, not when payment is received. Why am I emphasizing this reporting rule so heavily? Well, because failing to report your wages accurately or attempting to hide earnings is not just a minor slip-up, it is legally considered fraud. And in the state of Nevada, unemployment fraud is a felony. Seriously, no joke. Complete accuracy and transparency are your absolute best tools here. Another major pitfall you've got to watch out for is the 3-week rule. Consistency is literally the name of the game. If you forget to file your weekly certifications or experience a gap lasting 3 consecutive weeks, the system is going to automatically inactivate your claim. Reestablishing it requires a formal reactivation process and an administrative review, and that means a total halt to your financial support while they sort it all out. So please, file every single week, even if you are just waiting on a pending decision. All right, Section 4, Pro Tips for Success, making your job search work for you. Now that you know what to avoid, let's talk about some expert strategies to maintain your eligibility effortlessly and make your job search actually work for you. Performing and recording your weekly work search activities isn't just a polite suggestion. It is a strict legal requirement while claiming benefits. You must actively use all means available to find work, and you need to document exactly who you contacted, when you contacted them, and what the result was. The state can ask to review this record at literally any time. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how Nevada has built an interconnected web of resources to help you meet those requirements. You have 3 distinct tools at your disposal. First, the Claimant Self-Service, or CSS portal, is where you actually file your certifications and can digitally track your work searches so they auto-populate. Second, the Employee NV Career Hub. This is a mandatory database where you must register as a job seeker and where you can build your resume. Finally, you have Nevada Job Connect. These physical offices provide full-service in-person assistance if you need a hand creating an effective work search plan. Let's move on to Section 5, Resources and Getting Help, Building Your Support Network. Even with the very best preparation, you might hit a weird technical glitch or your claim might be initially denied. Building a support network and knowing exactly who to call is absolutely essential for your peace of mind. So keep this contact information handy. If the internet portal goes down, you don't have to miss your weekly certification. You can use the Quick Claim telephonic portal to file over the phone. You can call the Northern Nevada line at 775-684-0350, the Southern Nevada line at 702-486-0350, or the toll-free rural and out-of-state line at 888-890-8211. And hey, if you're just having trouble logging into the website, don't call the claim center. Just email internethelp@detr.nv.gov with your name and the last 4 digits of your social security number. And finally, let's move to and see how this builds into Section 6, Wrap-Up and Disclaimer, Essential Takeaways. Let's quickly summarize everything into a clean, actionable checklist. Here are your don't forget essentials. You must remember the financial base period requirements. You absolutely must log in and file your certification every single week, Sunday to Saturday, to avoid that 3-week inactivation trap. When you report any part-time work, always report gross wages for the week the labor was earned, completely ignoring when the paycheck actually arrives. Always maintain an accurate, detailed work search record. And finally, never hesitate to reach out to DETR or Job Connect if you need some guidance. Before we finish up, please note this important disclaimer. This explainer is for informational purposes only. State policies, benefit maximums, and contact numbers can and do change over time. So please always verify all details and your specific eligibility requirements directly with the official Nevada state resources or consult a legal expert. We have covered a lot of ground today, but you now possess the exact knowledge required to tackle this entire process head-on. You're no longer in the dark. So, now that you have the roadmap in your hands, are you ready to confidently navigate the system, file your weekly certifications, and secure the financial support you've rightfully earned? The next step is all yours.